Yeah, Brad, Melissa, several people were seen escorted out of this home behind me, and police were seen carrying boxes out. Again, it is not confirmed if this is related to Lily's murder. Yeah, Melissa, I am live here on County Road D, just a few yards away from the scene. You can see it is still very much active. There's a little bit of hazy smoke still left in the air. Well, Brad, Melissa, the Governor's Watch Party here at the Orpheum Theater has been going on for about a couple of hours now, and you can see hundreds of people gathered behind me watching that screen, watching those numbers come in, everyone on the edge of their seats, so to speak. Lily Peters left her aunt's house here on the 400 block of Grove Street and was supposed to arrive here at her home on the 50 block of East Birch Street, just 10 minutes away. It's not unusual for auto detailer Dan Smith to work on luxury cars like these at his shop in Bavent. But just a few weeks ago, Dan embarked on a job he says he won't soon forget. From a Ford to a Ferrari, Dan Smith has seen it all at his shop, Dan's Auto Detailing.
I guess I started back before I could drive.
But just a few weeks ago, Dan traveled to a Seattle museum for a detailer's dream job. That's him, and that's Air Force One.
It's not something that you can apply for. You can't buy a ticket. You cannot just show up.
Dan was hand-selected to be part of a team of 30 detailers from across the country. Together, they worked around 1,800 hours, buffing, polishing, and restoring the Air Force One used by at least 4 presidents, including John F. Kennedy, as well as several other World War II-era planes. And it was done all on their own dime and for no profit.
It's an honor just to be chosen. I mean, one of 30 in the United States, and there's how many detail shops out there? There's so much history behind this plane. And it's not that you're nervous at first, but it's like, wow.
But for Dan, the most meaningful part wasn't just getting up close and personal with the planes.
My grandpa was in World War II, prisoner of war in Battle of the Bulge. And then I also did it in honor of my dad, who was in the National Guard. I was allowed to go up on the tail section of Air Force One and polish a flag in honor of my grandpa and my dad.
Because in the end, for Dan, it all comes back to family.
Dan's Auto Detailing, the first letter of each word spells dad.
And the lessons he's learned along the way.
If you can do something like that, you can pretty much tackle anything.
Dan says if he's asked back next year, he'd return in a heartbeat. In Bavent, I'm Natalie Sopyla, News 9, WAOW.
Natalie Sopyla has been out there all day today. She joins us now live.
Yeah, Brad, Melissa, several people were seen escorted out of this home behind me, and police were seen carrying boxes out. Again, it is not confirmed if this is related to Lily's murder, but tonight the community here in Chippewa Falls is reeling after the death of the 10-year-old. And I spoke to one neighbor who says while he never used to fear for his family's safety living here, now he does. It's been 24 hours since Lily Peters was found dead after being reported missing Sunday night.
Just in shock. I don't think all the emotions have hit yet.
One neighbor I spoke to saying she's lived here for 60 years and has never seen anything like this. Lily Peters left her aunt's house here on the 400 block of Grove Street and was supposed to arrive here at her home on the 50 block of East Birch Street, just 10 minutes away, but that never happened. Instead, Peters was found dead in the woods near a walking trail close to Leinenkugel's brewery. Jeremy Magnick has lived in the area for nearly 7 years. While he didn't know Lily's family well, a few of his kids went to school with her.
We weren't directly affected, but it feels like it. It just hits really hard because it's so close.
Now he's left trying to explain to them what happened and is rethinking his family's safety habits.
I used to open carry down that trail with my dog when we first moved here, and then I got comfortable and I stopped. And now I kind of regret it.
Meanwhile, tributes already pouring in for Lily all over town. Purple ribbons tied to trees and light posts throughout the city in her memory.
There's anger, there's sadness, there's why. You know, why did this have to happen to her?
Police posting an increased presence near schools, and now parents across the area holding their children a little closer. Well, police still do not have a suspect in custody at this time, but they still do believe that there is a danger to the public, so they are urging residents to use caution. Now, there will be a press conference tonight at 6:30, so stick with News 9 for any updates. Live in Chippewa Falls, I'm Natalie Sopyla, News 9, WAOW. Yeah, Melissa, here at the neighbor's place, officials tell me they've seen just over 1,500 visitors this month alone. And other pantries in the area tell me it's not just regulars, they're seeing new people coming as well.
times are tough right now for us.
Like many in the community, Desiree Clommer is feeling the impact of the changing economy.
And especially for my family with dog food and everything, because everything is so expensive.
Now Desiree is turning to organizations like the Neighbor's Place for help with the essentials. And she's not the only one. Food pantries across the area tell me they're seeing an increase in need for food assistance.
The families that were getting by previous to this year are no longer really getting by without our help.
And more families are turning to the food pantry for the first time this year.
We've been serving a lot more families that are like in what we would consider a higher income bracket. They don't necessarily meet the traditional I guess, definitions of being at the poverty levels.
Donna Ambrose with the Neighbor's Place tells me there are a number of factors to blame for the increase.
It's gas prices, it's the cost of goods, shopping, all of those things add together. And, you know, in the holidays, because despite people's, economic struggles, we still want to be able to celebrate, buy gifts for our kids, and all of those things add up.
Donna says thanks to community support, they've been able to meet the need.
We have a generous community that steps up. We belong to a lot of organizations that really help us supplement our food.
And for those feeling the strain this year, Desiree says don't be afraid to ask for help.
It's not embarrassing, it's helping each other out. That's what it's all about.
News 9's Natalie Sopyla talked with the owner of Festive Foods and joins us now from Portage County.
Yeah, Melissa, I am live here on County Road D, just a few yards away from the scene. You can see it is still very much active. There's a little bit of hazy smoke still left in the air from crews still trying to put hot spots out. Now, earlier today, the smoke was so thick, visibility was low, and I had to move back. It became difficult to breathe, but fire crews have been here at the scene all day. I counted at least 6 different municipalities, but dozens of other fire and EMS crews here. And the owner of the plant says he's just grateful for the dedication.
We're on scene on County Road D, Festive Foods, heavy smoke coming from the roof. Can you get law enforcement started? We're going to need Highway D shut down as there is zero visibility across the road.
Heavy smoke and ash filling the air after a fire broke out at the Festive Foods plant this morning.
It was in the back of the building, up in the roof line area.
Owner Michael Holmgren says over 100 employees were working in the building at the time, but all were able to evacuate safely. And he says about half the building was saved too.
There's damages, yes, and we're going to have to assess how quickly we can rebuild.
Holmgren says an expansion was planned at the plant, so they hope rebuilding from the fire won't set them back too far. For now, he says he's grateful for the help of fire crews as multiple municipalities responded to the fire. And he says he's glad his employees are safe too.
Everybody is very committed. Everybody is safe, home with their families right now, and we'll support them through this.
Now, they make frozen pizzas here at the Festive Foods plant, and the owner tells me there are no dangerous chemicals here on site. Live in Belmont, I'm Natalie Sopyla, News 9 WAOW. Yeah, guys, even though the clubhouse was a total loss, firefighters were able to save plenty of memorabilia from the over 100-year-old building. And club members tell me the bond this group has goes beyond a mere 4 walls. This is what's left of the Snyder 4-H building. But this is what was saved from the fire that destroyed it. The building had been home to generations of 4-H members.
I remember I was like 8 or 9, just sitting in a chair, just swinging my legs, listening to everybody talk. And I think that was like my first memory in 4-H.
In the early morning hours of October 15th, fire tore through a storage building behind the clubhouse and quickly spread to the rest of the building.
The whole building was down, which was very devastating. There's a lot of memories, a lot of memories in that building.
The building has been home to Snyder 4-H since around 1950, but was previously a one-room schoolhouse back in 1892. Wednesday, members cleaned trophies and plaques that were saved from the wreckage.
Cleaning all of these awards, realizing what our 4-H has accomplished in the past however many years.
Just like actually looking at it and actually reading our pledge and realizing what that actually means to everybody.
Right now, club leaders say it's too soon to tell whether or not they'll be able to build a new building. But members tell me they've realized the bond they share goes beyond any building.
We're here and we're doing scrapbooking at Let's Create right now, actually, and there's so many different locations that it's not just a building, it's a family more.
Say Snyder! Snyder! Firefighters say there is no word yet on what caused that fire. Back to you. Detectives here in Shawano County tell me they don't know what's causing the increase, but the numbers are going up, and they have a warning for drivers. They may be on a racetrack, but it's not all fun and games for these Shawano County authorities.
This is our biannual training for emergency vehicle operations.
The sheriff's office conducts the trainings to refresh their skills and keep them prepared for when a situation escalates.
Dealing with roadblocks, utilizing the tire deflation devices, as well as dealing with wrong-way drivers.
And it's needed now more than ever. Detective Brad Schultz says his office has seen an uptick in high-speed chases over the last few years.
Through the first quarter of 2022, we're already at 22 pursuits. That's already a third of what we had the 3 years prior to that.
While he's not sure why the numbers keep climbing, he says it's a concern because anything involving a vehicle can be dangerous, not only for the public, but for the officers as well.
A lot of pursuits do end in crashes, a decent percentage of them.
Schultz says there's usually a cause that leads to high-speed chases, such as an active warrant or drugs, but there's no real way to predict when one will happen.
Our officers are empowered to make that decision for themselves at any time. They can terminate a pursuit if they feel it's too dangerous for themselves or the public.
Schultz has a warning for anyone who thinks they can race a police officer.
Even if you outrun one of our squads, we all have radios, so it's very hard to outrun a Motorola.
Detective Schultz says if drivers see a chase underway, pull over and let it pass through. In Shawano County, I'm Natalie Sopyla, News 9 WAOW. Melissa, Catherine, employees I spoke to say they were given the option to file for religious exemption and did so, but they say it didn't make a difference. November 19th, employees at the North Star Mohegan Casino and Resort received this letter saying a new vaccine mandate had been approved and would apply to all tribal employees. The casino, owned by the Stockbridge-Muncie Band of Mohican Indians, gave a deadline of January 4th.
I put in for a religious exemption, and I had some supporting documentation of what I believe.
Lisa Miller was a nearly 30-year employee of the casino. She says while the tribe approved her religious exemption, they denied her accommodation. She was, quote, voluntarily separated from her job.
I'm a dedicated employee. I get exceptional evaluations every year. I don't call in. I don't come in late. Just the complete lack of caring for quality employees is disturbing.
And she's not alone.
They accept my exemption, but they cannot accommodate me because it would cause the tribe great hardship.
Sandy Lawyer worked at the casino for nearly 12 years. She says the way she lost her job felt like a slap in the face.
I'm out of a job, and being an older person, I have to start all over again.
According to the employee letter signed by President Shannon Holsey, the tribe says it cannot guarantee accommodation, even with an exemption, saying, quote, matters of public health necessitate difficult choices for the greater good of our community. Still, at least 9 former employees are now left wondering what's next.
It's scary, for sure. I have a couple irons in the fire, but I don't have a job to go to tomorrow.
News 9 made multiple attempts to reach out to the Stockbridge-Muncie tribe for comment. We have not heard back. Live in the studio, I'm Natalie Sopyla, News 9 WAOW.
Thanks.